like mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They live in places that you can't touch either. That's the problem.
Try to
Hello.
stay out of the
Anytime I
camera's
got
view.
you.
Hey, Molly.
Are there any other
Hey,
ones?
Peter's definitely not.
No, they're there.
Hi,
Okay,
Aaron.
that's.
Hi.
This Cheryl government. Good, how are you?
He's not in line.
Sorry.
I wonder if he's working today.
Good.
Peter
how are
is-
you?
is up.
Peter's in Florida. Like, Peter's in Florida.
Yes, he's not.
Is anybody online?
He is in line for this one. He's supposed to be the secretary.
We can look at the.
Sorry. Oh, it's fine. It's a nice time of Easter weekend.
Because it's all starts with
access
access.
to my email.
They joined as a panelist, they would join on that.
Like 5 or 6 different.
But if they just join us, there's no attendees.
Situation regarding Easter, we need a person meeting. And then
Yeah,
to
we'll just.
Amber $5,000. Please call me. I'm
No.
on that.
But I'll
Yeah.
find it as attendance.
Possible.
I said, it was. I said, you come to my house. and talk to me. Make whatever you need to. do. But, yeah, it was long.
Oh, by the way, Francie, I'm away.
Right. I now have dual authentication and I will be changing my password. You can actually buy a service that does all this for you. So I'm looking into that as well.
Yeah. Wait, send the agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would take this agenda.
So it's the same. Just-
And down the other end over there.
Next.
You can keep everybody guessing. I was not sure.
Should we,
Simone.
do we have anyone online? Or is this logging in? Where's the,
You know, just make it up to date.
It's up, so.
oh, is it? Okay, so if people were on, they'd be able to get in.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be away until the 16th.
See. Okay.
So 17th.
Oh, oh, that
I
meeting.
won't be here through the 16th, so.
Oh, okay, so send agenda.
So if you could just.
For mid-April.
I'll be back for that. and then you can copy me in.
I was getting confused because of the May meeting in my head. already.
Yeah, no, not the name.
Yeah.
This is-
Okay, so send agenda for the mid-April.
17th. Yes.
One member present.
Yes. No.
It doesn't look like there's anyone online.
No, it isn't. The only person possible.
Sure.
Anyway, let's call the meeting to order at 4:05 PM. 3rd of April. And we will approve the minutes of March 20th meeting, just been distributed, and it's posted on the town website. So move. Second.
Yes,
All those in
second.
favor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. A member of the public, would you like to make a comment? This is the part of the thing, okay? If you wish to do so later on, just raise your hand. Thank you. Just a couple of things to note. One is that Ben and I met with Carol Snow, head of the PZ, the other day to just talk about working together forward. She is willing to do that, and we'll probably continue to keep her informed as to what we're doing, so that there's no surprises, and then perhaps we can get some help from them in terms of finishing some of the work that we want to do, make recommendations. The other thing, which I think we should feel good about, is that the newly, I guess, newly organized Guilford Commission. Through Ben had asked to meet with us, and Ben and I met with them yesterday. We spent a couple hours with them. They are impressed with our performance and what we're doing. You know, we kind of wonder. Of course they are. Of course they are. That they, particularly the outreach, the fact that we are doing newsletters, that we had 2 public meetings, and I believe she said she attended one meetings. I didn't.
Yes,
see her.
she came to the big meeting.
She came to the big meetings.
This was good to
I thought
Guilford.
it was all the.
Guilford Affordable Housing
Their
Committee
committee.
Chair
Yeah.
and a member. Wow. And they've set the record for ad hocness.
Yeah, it's-
There were an ad hoc committee with a single charge 10 years ago. And
But we're going for it. We're
We're
in
gonna challenge them.
contention. We're in
We're gonna
contention. So
challenge them.
we'll see how that goes.
They're
Uh,
still an ad hoc?
We,
They all-
they are
And now
changing
they're
to
a
become
formal
official.
commission.
Yeah,
Oh,
now they,
okay.
They haven't been reappointed as such, but the ordinance was passed, making a affordable housing commission.
it's interesting, they have, and we had talked before about the fact that they have done some good stuff ahead of us in terms of, putting a shovel in the ground kind of things. But this committee kind of like floated around for 10 years or 12 years and then.
The project is still
Yeah.
waiting to happen.
Exactly, but they had passed a trust fund. Rule.
So they did adopt their trust fund ordinance as well.
So we are, I said to them that we'd be happy to continue to talk to them, and if they would like to come to any of our public meetings, please do so. So, and the only other thing I mentioned is that Erin has fixed us up with the website now has a form to fill out if you wish to ask questions of the affordable housing, committee. The form is now in place, right?
Who gets that?
I didn't work the magic, read it.
Does it go to you or does it go to?
No, it goes to, actually, right now, it's going to Francine, me,
And you?
Okay.
No, the list, it was, Mark, Francine, Molly, Heather, and I are on
Mark,
that
Francine,
inquiry.
that's right.
So that the communications working group can kind of funnel inquiries directly to the committee.
And the idea with this is that people can write to us with their concerns or expressions of interest or whatever, including being included on our mailing list, which is one thing people want to do. And then we will sort through that and not reply directly to individuals unless there's some specific reason to do so, but to take these questions and comments and then perhaps add them to our FAQs as we go along. If there's some specific things that we think we should be adding. So that would fall under this working group of the communications working group. So that's everything I have to say for that. And
Yeah, thank you.
the only old business, I didn't know whether it's old business or new business, but we had talked, and I don't think we finalized a plan for future meetings with the public. And it's the coffee hands. We talked about the 17th.
Right. Last I heard, you had asked that we reserve the Hammonasset meeting for the May meeting.
Yes, but I don't think we have, we were talking about a Zoom meeting on a Saturday. That's one thing we were talking about.
I thought it was a,
I thought it was an in-person evening.
Later,
I thought it was a Zoom, okay, that's why I want to bring it up.
I thought-
a lot of people said at 3 or 4 o'clock.
I think
Yeah.
we were working on both, right?
I thought there was a Zoom meeting
An
coming up,
evening meeting and a Zoom.
and then a May meeting would be the more public meeting.
and we had a date, like, it was our second May meeting, which is what, the 15th? Was going to be the in-person
That's, I believe
at
that's
the
right.
Hammo room, and
It was the one in April, that we did at the end of April, and a Zoom meeting on a Saturday or.
was it a Saturday?
Well, we said a Saturday as opposed to later at night.
Oh.
We
When
could do
did
it,
we
we
say
could do it later at night too, so we should finalize that.
I think I left, I don't think I was
I don't
part of that.
recall.
Do you have access to,
The May meetings are the 1st and the 15th.
Right, the 15th is the one we were talking about having a coffee and
right,
session.
do you have access to the power mapping spreadsheet? Because Ben updated those comments, and so it might show what we said about
I'm sorry.
Did
that's-
he send minutes?
He
Like
did,
his
he
notes?
did, yeah.
The meeting with Ben that I was not at, I heard about it afterwards. It's a little confusing.
Notes
Ah.
from 321?
It was not in this meeting, it was not in our meeting.
got it, that's right.
No, it's not in this.
It's not in there. Well,
No, is
Oh,
a,
wait.
Vincent, were you there? I thought you were, or did you?
Are we talking about
Meeting
when
with
the
Ben.
last meeting we had that we discussed having, oh, it was on the
Power back.
computer. It was on the computer when we were talking about it. Yeah, this was Ben. Weren't you at that?
And we,
No, I was-
Oh,
I thought,
yes, it was a follow-up to
to the discussion we had
the
here.
discussion.
And
Yes.
then there were a bunch of emails too.
Yes.
So
Right.
some of this knowledge could have come from
Including-
emails.
Does
I
anybody
don't think
have-
I was.
So maybe we
no
can
one
just
emailed.
start fresh and.
Talked about
schedule
I wasn't
this at
on
the last
right?
meeting
Okay.
here.
Maybe you
Because
just
Ben-
start from the
Let's-
beginning
wait,
and
let's
schedule
start from the
something.
beginning.
Why don't we
Yeah.
just start
We're
over?
just talking, let's
Yeah.
stop, let's have one person talk.
Let's just start over.
Now,
It
who
doesn't
was
even
speaking?
matter.
That was Polly? Or Heather?
I was saying maybe you just start fresh, because it doesn't sound like
Yes.
anything's established, so
Okay.
start the conversation from the
So the
beginning. and
question,
then-
let's start with the first one, which is having a meeting that would be on Zoom only. And that would be at a time when people who are gainfully employed can join in. So that could either be, and I believe that came up, maybe I read my notes wrong, it was either Saturday or it could easily be an evening as well, so an hour or so. So it could either 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock start. Is that a practical thing, Aaron, to do? We have a meeting here, a Zoom meeting that starts at 6 o'clock.
It depends. Well, will you all be Zoomed as well?
We'd all-
The idea was that we would, for the May meeting, no.
Well, let's stay with the April one first.
For the Zoom meeting, we would end our regular meeting at 5:30 and get home for a 6 o'clock Zoom. That was the discussion we recall
On the
Which is
17th.
the 17th.
of April.
And then there was a question about whether we did better on the weekend. But that's-
Is there time enough
One step.
to get word out for
You, I
2
mean,
weeks?
you have plenty of time to schedule a special meeting. I mean, we'd have to
But I mean, practically,
advertise
to
something.
get the word out as we did last time.
And what's the,
This
The
is-
structure of this
is-
one.
This is cocktails with the Affordable Housing Committee at 6 o'clock
Without the-
by Zoom only.
bring BYOB?
Thank you, BYOB on the screen. Yes.
It's-
And my wetlands meeting, welcome.
We're actually taking being a keg in here and just sitting around and talking.
It's the same coffee hour we had in person, just we're gonna do it in Zoom for people who aren't gonna be able to get it.
So you'll do your your slideshow presentation, and then just open it up for conversation and
But
comments.
only Zoom, because we didn't want to try to manage in person and Zoom at the same meeting, because that
I
gets
think that makes sense.
chaotic.
Yes,
So we could set up a.
I could schedule that
We need
for
to
you.
just use the link then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
just need to use the link.
Yeah, all of us would, but someone would have to be the
I have to
host.
schedule it as a special meeting,
Yes.
and so we would need an agenda,
So
so
we'll come
yeah,
in here
so
first.
I'll,
Well,
I
the
can,
agenda is
Yeah.
community conversation. Come-
Right.
Come and tell us your thoughts.
right, but that's just formally, when you schedule a special meeting notice, you have to include the agenda on that special meeting, and you can't add any new items to
That's the
the.
sole item, no decisions.
Did we
will be
have an
made.
agenda for the 229 meeting?
Would that mean?
The 229, February
229?
29th?
Is it better to call it like an info session after the formal meeting?
Right?
And then,
It
is that
Can
any
I-
different?
Wait a minute.
I-
I thought we're gonna have our regular meeting here in person, right? And we're gonna leave
Well,
it.
but don't look at me because I'm still running a little bit behind.
What we talked about was have a regular Wednesday meeting, end it at 5:30, go home, hop on Zoom, and do an entirely Zoom conversation. If you have to call it a meeting, it's a meeting, but it's no action of any kind will be taken. It's an information session.
And I think the last,
Conversation.
when we had the 3 o'clock meeting, it was a 3
Yeah,
o'clock
we did
meeting,
as
but we
well.
only had the agenda for the 4 o'clock meeting.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
but we did not have an
Yeah.
agenda for that one, yeah,
Right,
the 3 o'clock. meeting.
Right. right.
It was
So,
a Community conversation.
right,
But you have to have a way to get the Zoom link out,
yeah.
And so.
So
we
we're
need-
talking
I'll link
about
it to
only
the
2
event.
weeks from now.
link it to the event,
Yes.
okay.
There's nothing to prepare other than getting it on the
So
agenda.
April.
And setting up the
Yeah,
slideshow.
and Aaron can set it up as the host so that we can all get on.
Do you have any interest in having your regular meeting remotely
Yeah, I was
that
just gonna
day?
ask
So
the
that
same question, like,
you're not
why
running
even
back and
bother
forth?
having to run home? If We're
We
gonna,
could do that. I don't care.
It
Or
actually
in
makes
lieu
more
of your
sense.
meeting? I mean, I don't know what, if there's,
That actually makes more sense to do it. The only problem with that is that you'll set up the link for everybody for the regular meeting, and then people will be coming into the regular meeting, anticipating.
Well, if we end the regular meeting at 5:30,
Yeah,
But if we
then
can
we,
finish.
then we
at 5:30,
can have a clean break.
Okay, I thought,
I mean, I don't mean,
you get the, you get the.
I don't mean to be like a negative on this, but just, it's a lot of meeting, it's a lot of, like, it seems very rushed to me. Like, we're having another meeting on the 15th with the public. I mean,
Yeah, but we all agreed that we wanted to do one a month. That was Jen's idea.
oh, I did not hear that. We're to have a public meeting once a month.
Well,
Yes, a public conversation, but not everyone has to be there.
We don't-
This
we
is
don't
not for
know
us,
the-
it's for them.
we don't know the frequency, the right frequency yet. So this is an experiment. It's
That's
entirely
true.
possible that no
When people start,
Yeah.
stop
That's
showing
even-
up.
don't show up. That means we haven't had meetings.
Yeah, we're talking- No, he's talking. So,
Yeah.
But let's,
Oh, he's
Aaron,
next
let's work from the idea that this will be an extension, just the meeting will go on till 7 o'clock, so you don't have a separate agenda, and then we will have the regular meeting online, everybody will be online. And that's where the next snowstorm comes, and we'll be all happy to be
So same
That's
Zoom
a
link.
3 hour
on a 3 hour meeting.
block that the Zoom meeting has to be live for people to attend, if that's a
Yeah, no, people can
continuation.
attend the regular meeting too, if they want to.
Are you gonna meet for
Well,
that's-
2 hours
Why don't
from
we
4 to
just-
6?
Do you want to start our meeting
online?
at 5 then,
We can change it. if we want to.
or not?
No, then you're gonna have people coming into the meeting who don't wanna be there. for that.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not concerned about people coming into our regular meeting, members of the public coming to the regular meeting. What I'm concerned about is all of a sudden, 25 people come up expecting to ask questions and in the middle, we haven't finished our regular meeting. That's the only issue.
Is there a problem with ending at 5:30, so that doesn't?
No, of course not. As long as.
You could cancel it for all.
um,
The meeting
was-
ahead of time,
that was my next
as
thought.
opposed
Yeah.
to,
It's just
and then just
cancel.
have the conversation.
Okay.
If you don't have new
Info.
business to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
That can happen, it seems like.
Yeah.
Why don't we make that the last item, that move the public comment to the end of the meeting on the agenda, right? So you can be sure
Pardon?
the agenda.
That's fine.
We move the public comment from the opening meeting thing to the new, before the closed meeting, before we adjourn. Have public comment at that time. And then that would be just stay around until people finish up. All right, does that work?
So you don't wanna send this out as a,
Oh, no, I do, but I'm saying that.
it doesn't
Just
really,
the logistics of, we have a meeting at 4 o'clock. We do it online, everybody's on Zoom for our own meeting. And you have to set it out, and anybody can come in and visit, because they will have, the agenda will have it, the link will already be there. But we will promote the fact that starting at, let's say, 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock, let's say, starting at 5:30, we will have a general conversation and invite the public to join us to talk more about. That.
And I think,
That'll be for like an hour, so
I
5:30.
would rather have a clean break. I think that could get too confusing.
and I think what Aaron was suggesting is that it's only 2 weeks from now. If we have no new business, why don't we just cancel our meeting and have a Zoom
Yeah.
meeting with the public?
Yes.
What do people think about that?
I like
That's a good idea.
I would
If
worry
there's
there
nothing
would be
available.
confusion with two separate Zoom links. That would be my only, concern.
It's too much logistics.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So simply have the public conversation on the.
Yeah,
you want it at 6? That's what,
Start
or
also
5:30.
at 6 o'clock.
Whatever people think is. We'll
And,
capture the
we'll
most.
try to hold that to an hour, as possible. And then,
And no
So we
4
have the
o'clock
next
meeting?
No,
right, and no 4 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
Now, do we need it? We need an agenda for that, right?
I'll just do it as a flyer.
We don't need it, we don't
Last
have
one.
official agenda or anything like that.
I'll add it to the calendar as one of the community convers, like we did for the
Okay.
Hair Nassau group.
That's good.
And it'll have the link to join.
Okay. And then the meeting in May would then be the same as we did before, which is the 3 o'clock, followed by our regular meeting.
No, I
No,
thought that
that's
was our,
gonna be an
I thought that was an
evening.
evening meeting.
That's an
That was to
in-person
do with
meeting.
in-person
Suggested
evening,
that we do
yes.
that at 6.
Right.
Do it
Yeah.
after the meeting.
Yes.
Do it after.
We're doing both of those, basically. It's just, we're saying each one of them is going to be evening meeting.
Right, the May meeting in the Hammer room would be at 6. We could,
What day is this? The
That's the May
15th.
15th.
we
That
could
was the
start
public meeting in
our
the-
regular meeting a little later if we didn't have enough business to occupy us for 2 hours.
So you want an evening meeting?
Help set up the room, whatever.
So not to add confusion into the mix, but we're a lot closer to reopening the cafe. So if you wanted the option of doing the senior center, I feel much more comfortable offering that on the 15th
That might be
at this
nice.
point.
That would be lovely, but we don't have to decide that for another couple of weeks, right?
Well, we don't know yet. It's available, so we'll have to wait. till-
I mean, I'd
Are
be
they-
willing
Are they
to,
waxing the floors yet?
I mean, I'd be
Still
willing to
burning?
bet money that we're good to go on that, so.
Hold them to the fire.
The 15th, I'm much more
I
comfortable
think a
with,
lot of people will
so.
be very happy when that
Then we
happens.
would have our meeting there and then just let the evening meeting follow.
I think so.
So, so I guess we could find out like in a couple of weeks whether or not.
Yeah, we could
I
have-
mean, I should know midweek next week, like I should be able to confirm,
Okay,
but.
why don't we just say,
we're
the
That sounds
15th?
great.
Let's just say the 15th at 6 o'clock. And we'll be,
Oh, I gotta,
we'll decide where it is, when,
I
you
gotta
know,
check the calendar.
the senior center would be better than here. And we'll decide that when the senior center is confirmed to be available.
yes, let me double check the availability.
When's the meeting to, set the mill rate that day? Because that's the day we
Is
set
that
the
the
mill
same
rate.
day?
Is it in the morning? Does anybody know?
What's that?
Oh, God.
Set
They
the
set the
mill
mill rate on the 15th, right? Referendum's on the 14th. I just don't know when that is. We wouldn't wanna.
Setting the mill rate, unless things have changed,
Oh, that's right. It's Board of Finance. So how do you do it?
nobody used to come.
Oh, okay.
It was-
No one came to your meeting? Oh, that's too bad.
It's not on the calendar.
They just complained afterwards, right?
Yes.
Slow.
Okay. Are we comfortable with what we have now? We're canceling the meeting on the 17th. And replacing it with a meeting
Info
public,
session.
starting at 6 PM.
Right.
Be on Zoom. And then May 15th, and then May, or the first meeting in May will be a regular meeting. And then 15th of May, we will have a regular meeting followed by a 6 o'clock open forum. And I think we'll have to take a look at what happens at this first meeting, seeing if anybody really shows up. If we have very few people showing up, then we might want to recess that, push back the more public meeting to later. So
Yeah, I think it's an important effort to make to see if there are people who would like to participate but can't get here in person.
Oh, no, we have to do that.
Just
Yeah,
to just see.
absolutely doesn't work. But we will already test it out on the 17th, the evening meeting.
Oh, the evenings, yeah.
We've already tested that out. So I'm just saying, if the evening meeting has 6 people that show
We'll
up,
go
then
back to
probably
3 o'clock.
we may want to change it around. Yes, certainly had a good crowd at 3 o'clock. Okay. All right, are we all
Good.
got that down, right? Then, what's the working group? So, Francine, you want to start with communications?
Sure, okay, so, I sent around the newsletter that I did, and like I said, I'm trying to think of what to do, and so I was thinking that maybe I would try, not me, but, you know, maybe it might be helpful to take information from the plan and start like disseminating it, because people have asked more than once, well, what's the plan? And I think that probably that question really, yeah, behind it is really more action thought, but there is, but oftentimes what our response is, well, there is a plan that's written, you know, we really don't even know how to answer it. And so there, I just thought, well, maybe we should try to help, like, feed that information that in the plan, just it's not like necessarily action, but it's information that is helping guide us. And so anyway, and one of the suggestions Bennett had was, well, how about if we give them that facts about Madison housing? Well, what is that actually? And so I kind of went through the plan a little bit and found that those pages 6 and 7, I thought, okay, well, this is kind of interesting information. Maybe I'll try to put that together. So that was really what that was about. And then I don't even know how this plays out. I'd have to talk to Rita. I don't know if it's enough information, not enough information in terms of.
It doesn't make any difference. It
It-
be-
we can
it
just
be
make-
short or long.
Okay. And so I put this other little paragraph to kind of maybe make people aware of the fact that we're having these community discussions. Here's what we did. You know, and please, here's a
You
link.
could put the dates in
You know,
too.
Now we have,
yeah, and so, and that's true. I could add these dates. So.
17th at 6.
Is there some way to embed a link within the newsletter?
Yes, she did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be done.
Because the thing is, I said, I don't know if you saw it, but on the second page, there was a lines that just, the way I had my font, that I had a video recording is on, well, oh no, actually I said on the website, but yes, you can put a link, because there was one on the previous one. So anyway, that was how I came up with this. I don't know if anyone has.
So we need a link, we need a link for the video and
Yeah,
then there's a link there.
I think she had that on the
Yeah,
list.
Back to the FAQs.
Well, yeah, we could put in the date of the May meeting and just say location would be determined.
Yes, I don't think we need to send out. Now, has everybody had a chance to look at this?
did people read it? Did they have any problems with it?
I thought it looked good.
I sent comment.
You did.
Yeah, and by the way, I kind of looked that up. It's, I think one of two ways. Either, I think it's a little wordy, so it's actually really the US Census Bureau's blah, blah, blah. So either I could just take that out, and it says American Survey Data, and
It's not
data's
survey,
not,
it's
American Community Survey,
Survey.
yes, I forgot that word, community, yes.
So
and-
well known.
And data is not, actually not capitalized,
No.
it was a D, so that was my mistake. But anyway, so I might just take out, I might just put American Community Survey, because it's a lot of words, US Census, blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, yeah. So,
You want to take a look at it before finalize?
Sure.
oh, you didn't see, but that didn't mean,
I was out this weekend,
you didn't get the email.
sunning myself in Florida.
Okay, why don't you wait a second?
It was good.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Okay, do you need me to send this email again?
I like that.
Okay.
Okay, then you want to add the dates and you want to add
Mhm.
the link. And then, Erin, should we send this to you or send it to Rita first? And I think you got the copy first. You've already seen it.
I've read through it.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you have any other,
Yeah, I'll
any
give,
final
I
edits,
will,
send
I
them
will
out.
add it, and, I'll send it to both. Okay, and so. and she-
Sure, let her know.
And then, I don't have Rita's email, but then, so that she and I can, maybe, I was hoping to chat just to see how it gets laid out, to make sure.
She sent a draft last time.
that
I
she-
might
Oh,
have
is that
only
what she
sent it
does?
to Mark
Yeah, I
to
did.
look at, but
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, she will send us
Okay,
a
that's
draft.
what she'll do. Okay, great.
She's
So
already-
what I'll do is I'll copy of both of you
Yeah,
on the
because before
email.
it goes out, I'm gonna make sure that I.
So then we're all connected.
Yeah, all right.
And I noted on the webpage that Rita has a link to the March newsletter now also.
Yes, I saw that. Oh, it was there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
on,
there.
it's on, so she'll update
And then
each
she'll
one.
put the next.
Mhm.
Okay.
First of all, Francine, Jane asked about frequency. We don't know what the frequency should be. And maybe with the meetings, maybe you should just try it out and see what happens. And see what everybody agrees. We can get the statistics of who was and access that page. Erin, I think Rita was indicating, we could find out where people go, or at least the number of people that show up for.
How many hits on the page you
Yeah.
need from her?
Yeah,
Okay.
So that would be helpful. We can figure out, what Jane is suggesting is maybe we should make it less frequently than monthly because people don't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I do
through
think,
the, you mean through the blast, she can assess
She
how many
she should
people
be able
read
to-
it?
Yeah, she should be
Or
able
open
to.
it?
yeah,
The
She should be able,
statistics,
yeah.
readily, the packages that give you the statistics on how many hits you get, how long people stay, where they come from.
Where they-
But that's on the web page, not for the actual,
No, for the mail. If you
For
do,
the
if you do
mailing
an
too?
email, if you do an email,
I'll ask
you
her.
should be able to find out whether they did anything other, they may have deleted it or opened it or read it. You can get that statistics and be interesting to see.
Would it
well, I
make
do
sense?
think that you can,
Pardon?
go ahead.
Would it make sense, sort of moving forward, if you take your newsletter topics and use them as meeting topics, public meeting topics, so you could sort of focus on one area of the plan and help take a little bit of an educational piece at the meeting and say, this is the topic for the month, and let's hear feedback regarding this specific topic. So it's sort of like a coordinated, I don't know.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Hmm.
I don't think we can do this before the 17th. Let's see
No.
what happens on the 17th, and then maybe if,
ADUs.
for sure. use.
Yeah.
Why not? Just open
Yeah.
it up. We want to hear people's experience with ADUs and their thoughts about what we make it easier.
Hmm.
So the 15th could be that. Could be something. That'd be cool. Let's- Okay,
Yeah, I don't know if this is, well, I'll let working groups finish that last one question. Go ahead.
is this part of your,
No, not really. It was just something I discovered when I was.
oh, I know.
Yeah, so I think we should finish this.
We have to talk. about it.
Yeah,
That's a good point. James, is there anything you have to report at all?
Well, Francine and I have started work on the Madison town-owned parcels. And it's a work in progress. We probably have covered, are mapped out 2/3 of what we have to do. Now, the second phase, so we've mapped those out. We have to finish the last third, and then now we're going through the deeds to see if there are restrictions. And then eventually, when we skinny that down, Erin, maybe we can have a meeting with you, since you have intimate knowledge of all these things, just to have you double check some of our work with regard to use. But we're not there yet.
Okay.
So, and we've been looking at the parcels and mapping them out. What we hope to do is get that all done, go talk to Erin, distill down the list, and then put it on a big map so everybody can see. And then maybe we'll talk to the group or email the group what, you know. But it's time consuming.
Yeah, a lot of
So it's a little slower than I thought it would be, but it's
so
good.
much detail. That
Yeah,
is
but
it.
it's good. I mean, there's a lot of areas to consider.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of clicking.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
A lot of
clicking.
this-
Like, both,
Great, thank you.
we're both held over our laptop. We couldn't figure it out. We came here and we could not.
We're like, okay, no, this is not working, so we
could
just
not
want to plug it
figure
in.
out. We couldn't do it.
Um,
And so
Maybe
we
when we
just-
come to see you,
Yeah,
probably
we
in
couldn't
about a month when we're.
So we
finishing
actually
the-
went pretty fast with your.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a little easier with two people because you
Yeah.
can read numbers and that person
Yeah.
has to looking in two places. So anyway,
But it's a process, yeah.
And Jane and I have been working on this 24 wall, and the full plan has been received at the library, and they pass it on to us. And the estimate for complete rehab of the building and capable of handling the books and extra weight downstairs as a commercial location is over $1 million. That's
For 2 units above?
no.
Yeah.
Let me take it one step at a time. If the library is considering it as a commercial, reusing it as a commercial place,
Yeah.
or using it to store books. And if you store books, they said, well, you need another $100,000 to shore up the floor. Things like that.
Yeah.
So take that out, think of it as just the residential units, it's about $50,000. Also not an inconsiderable amount of money. But apparently, because they have not taken care of the building, there's water in the basement. There are some weaknesses in the stairs, they would have to be replaced. But as a residential unit, you don't have to do, because it reuses an education as a residential unit, you don't have to go through a whole another thing about zoning. It's been already approved for that kind of thing. So it is, you can save a lot of money by reusing it that way. My guess is that the library was have no interest in spending $1,017,000 on that. So then it comes down to how much does it cost us to knock it down, or can we help them find another solution? And so with that information, the next step is for us to confirm and share with the fellow that we're talking, I don't want to use his name, but the fellow we're talking to about making a significant contribution, share that with him, and then see what his response is to that. Whether or not he's willing to step up to the phase 1 part of this process. If he is, then the next step would be to talk to a developer or somebody to work about the construction and really try to hold it down with the library's support. And the assumption is that the library would not charge for the land, would donate the land, where they would lease it for a long time. So that's where we are with that. So we in progress, but not anything that really is terribly encouraging at this point in time. So we have another couple of hurdles. First, with the gentleman that we were talking to about putting up a significant amount of money, he said that he was willing to put up considerable amount of money, 6 figures more. But that he's got to now respond to that, and whether he can afford it or wants to pay for the first phase, which would include a lot of this rehabbing, which getting the water out of the basement, probably new gutters and drains and stuff like that. They did something that flashing around the chimney, so progress, but not.
Seems like there's a lot of support from municipal government. Both Peggy and Jen have spoken
I think there
strongly in
is.
favor of trying to find a way to preserve it.
The key with the library, and then I only had a meeting a while ago. We had that first meeting, I really in the back of that group again. And she will be back in another month, by the way, just. But the key is whether or not they will let us do the initial work and how to finance the initial work. And if necessary, and this may be necessary, the Historic Society would be willing to take on responsibility for restoring the outside of it, fixing it up. And that's because somebody has to receive the money, and so can't, that's who we do it. So we could use the Historical Society as a venue for that. We would then, once that money is spent, then before that, I mean, obviously we have to come up with a balance of probably $500,000 more for the rest of it. And that requires town additional financing from outside sources. So,
There's still a lot of moving parts because the estimate that the library got was for continued use as is for their purposes. What we would need to do is to have a developer that specializes in affordable housing come in and also take a look at it. And we don't know what their number would be. There is one guy who's kind of interested and knows how to go about getting funding from outside sources. He's going to be away for a while. Mark's going to be away, so we probably won't talk to him in person until May sometime. But there's a lot of moving parts to this because of that. And also, would the library even consider being in partnership with a developer that focuses on affordable housing and allow them to manage that property once it was restored, if they put the apartments in there. So still a lot of things to consider.
So any questions about any of these reports? Bennett, do you have anything you want to update us on some of the stuff that you're working on?
So we're working on 2 projects now. We've combined the Affordable Housing Trust Fund examination with the question of how do towns put in place a structure to see that housing gets built. And we've undertaken to do a survey of 30 towns. And that's proven to be somewhat laborious, getting people to respond to us. We've got a fair amount of information, not enough yet. And towns are all over the place, having nothing whatsoever, including the affordable housing committee, to having very elaborate structures with lots of people with different responsibilities, intersecting groups, managing the process. Peggy put me in touch with the policy director at Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. And I was hoping that they would have some useful data for us. It turns out that they don't, but would like to have some. And so we're going to do a very brief survey for us. It's going to be statewide. It's going to be to all of the usual suspects, with some additional ones for us to make it more likely that the town where there's no obvious person. That's been our default position. On the website doesn't say anything. Go to the town plan, that person's likely. But the CCM surveys typically go to the chief elected official, the economic development person, and planner. They'll send it to as many people as we want. So we're going to try to keep it short because their experience is obviously get better responses if you keep it short, and we're gonna try to keep it as objective and subjective as we can, try to have it just be so factual. So we're trying to find out what that structure, is there one person or entity responsible for, is there a affordable housing committee? Is there a trust fund? If there is a trust fund, what are the major sources of income? And then I think at the bottom, we just ask them to list the most appropriate website. So I've got to get back to them by the end of the week. So if people have thoughts about what else we might ask along those lines, that we give you a simple, specific answer, that would be great.
And are we gathering this
Gary, you might have some
information
ideas
to
too.
give it to our board of selectmen to say this is what, why are we gathering this information?
Because I want it for inventory, part of our development.
So we
Try to see
that.
best practices throughout Connecticut.
Did they give you an idea of any towns the same size as Madison that have been particularly successful? Do they know? Did they give you any like insight on that, or do they not know?
They don't keep track of this specifically, and our regional planning agency doesn't have the data either. It's suffice to find out. And Guilford went through the same process. They were their chair, their current chair spent hours online looking for information town to town. And
Found there wasn't very much of it.
yeah, and it's incomplete, or it doesn't really tell you what you want to know. So I don't know if you're,
I feel like the COGs are a good resource for that, to be the ones reaching out to their membership asking.
yeah, well, they could do that, but they haven't. And this will.
Well, I don't think we've specifically asked them to do it either.
No, sure. I have.
That's fine, but there are other small towns that are not in the regional planning agency.
No, I don't mean just Scrog, but all the COGs,
Oh, yeah. they could.
and using it that way, reaching out.
Well, we told
You know, to those.
the planning agency that we would share what we learned.
With whoever wants it.
Yeah, we want to,
Yeah.
no one's done this, and so it'll be a resource for anyone in the state who wants to take advantage of it. You would think the state would have done it. If you have a specific sense of what the question would be, I mean, we have the state does publish the percent of affordable housing by town. Doesn't tell you a whole lot.
Yeah, a lot of that housing could be just accidental, just happened to me. If you're looking at the cities, for example, a lot of the affordable housing is.
Oh, yeah,
been
of course
planned.
it's there, right,
You know,
yeah. But if you had some other measure, right, of what it means to be successfully implementing an affordable housing plan. I don't know how to ask that in a way that, but it's not a bad
It's hard to
idea.
say, are you doing a good job or a bad job, you know? Check the box.
So if folks want to think on it, I'm happy to try to put it in.
But you gotta get back to this week.
I want to get back to it this week.
Also depends on what we mean by successful. I mean, successful, I guess we'd be looking at the statistic, the percent. You know, I
Well, we
printed
have
that
the
out.
percent.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
say,
ask
I
for the
printed that
results.
out right when we started this
I'm
committee.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
how people deal with the issue of affordable housing.
Yeah.
Okay, what town by town.
We're looking at this from a sort of administrative structural position, like what are the tools that lead to successful implementation? Our calls have indicated a lot of towns that really have nothing.
And have done that.
Done nothing.
There are towns that have specifically not drafted a plan on purpose.
At all.
So, yeah, we haven't, it's very complex to get an understanding of whether they've been successful, how much they've produced. And
But I think if it gets the basic data, what structure do you have in your town? And then we can then go back and look at
but
those
if we get
towns
the
that.
name, if we get the name of the person, if there is
The
somebody,
key person.
Yeah.
And then you go back.
key informant.
And it's been, most towns adopted plan based on the statutory mandate to do so
Right.
by June 2022. So that's all, we're
Well,
just
not by
coming.
2022, a lot of them were late. We were one of the few that was on time.
But that's even
That was
worse.
the deadline.
So that's what I mean. So we only have a 2-year window here, not even a 2-year window for people to be going back, looking at their plans to identify
Oh, sure,
whether or not they've been successful. So
but it's a snapshot. Let's see
Yeah.
what it looks like right now. And
Yeah.
then you can monitor that.
If
There
we
are a
don't-
lot of towns though that have been doing this long before the state mandate.
There are, and we may find, if we don't get good response in a CCM survey, because we get a lot of surveys coming through for various things, we may want to reach out directly to the planners at the COGS, because they have relationships with the planners within their, membership, and may get better response
Well,
too.
I did reach out to our, and what I was told is they didn't have anything and that they don't get response.
What about,
And they didn't know who were the lead, all they could tell me was who shows up.
I mean, I think our COG is doing well, trying to make an effort to have those conversations
I think
for
they're great.
affordable housing, probably more so than other.
what about your relationships with the affordable housing developers that, like the guys you brought in? I'm sure the affordable housing developers have an opinion as to where it's more efficient to get things done, and they might have some opinions on
I can
that.
ask.
It's good thought, I think it's, even if we don't get a lot of data, at least that tells us something too. If you're not interested in communicating where you are, probably. But I think, let's try to snapshot it and let's, and they pay for it. So
It's free.
we don't have to do it.
And we're certainly, I think, reaching our limit of what we can accomplish, because we're doing a lot of cold calling.
Hmm,
Doesn't always work.
No,
no, it's always hard.
So that's,
Okay.
that's 2 of the 3 projects. The third project is the ADU. And if Eric's unable to be here, but he and I will be working on putting together a specific set of recommendations that we can bring here for discussion and ultimately adoption, so that we can then present them to P and Z. And, between now and then, which is probably mid-June, is what we're shooting for, roughly 60 days. We hope to get some sort of informal feedback from P and Z before we formally present it. So we will keep you apprised of our progress.
But isn't that what we got already?
No,
Oh.
what you got already
Is it draft?
was a suggestion for a process, which we're not going to follow, along with a list of promising practices from around the country. The next step is to create a specific set of recommendations for Madison. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think were you referencing the ADU thing that Eric sent
Yeah.
around? Yeah, she wasn't talking about the process. She was talking about the draft that Eric sent on ADUs.
Well, we got a draft, but then
Yeah.
we got the second thing, it didn't say draft.
Yeah.
But, so now that's,
So everything you've got
Yeah.
has been solely for internal discussion in the school. Nothing is going to be else.
are we gonna talk, at what point will we talk about?
When we
When
submit,
when he presents it,
Oh,
he's
when
gonna
you're
present,
finally-
he's gonna present
when you're
their
eventually-
recommendations.
yeah, there are no specific actionable recommendations. There will be when we bring it to.
Which will be sometime in
And
the
if you
60
have,
days.
if you have input now, we're happy to take it. I don't mean this moment, but ideally.
We'll talk about this again as we go through
Yeah,
between
but
now and
if you
June.
have, if you have a reaction to what's there,
Did you
or
talk-
you have your own other ideas, please send them.
Yeah, Jane?
When you spoke with Carol, did they say whether or not the PNC is already thinking about ADUs or?
Oh, it's on their
Yeah,
agenda.
it's on the
It's
agenda,
absolutely on their agenda.
Okay,
And she welcomes our input.
okay.
I mean, the town opted out of the state recommendations, and so there's 2 questions. One, do you accept the state recommendations, or do you accept something different than the state, but more than what you have right now? And that is what the
Okay.
P and Z has to wrestle with. We can have input into that.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'm not quite sure. So when you say you could send feedback, I guess that would just be my opinion. I don't know what you mean by that.
Yes,
Okay,
send us your
so, I mean, I
thoughts.
just I thought it was gonna be like a group discussion.
There will be,
about all
when
this.
there's something
You have to work,
concrete.
you have to work from a
that we
document.
have-
Okay, I don't know, maybe I'm not understanding. I'm getting documents, but we never talk about it. So I'm not quite sure where we are.
Because they're in draft, and we'll talk about it when they
Okay,
come up with
Just
the
tell me
final
We'll do it,
recommendations.
Francine.
Nothing in Eric's thing says,
We'll
here's what the P and Z
We
people
will
should
schedule
do.
a work group meeting for anyone who wants to come and talk about the existing drafts. So, happy to do it.
What would you like? to do, Francine?
no, I
Yeah.
guess I'm confused. First, we did get this saying we're gonna talk about it, but I guess, so then I read it and made notes and stuff that first time, and then we didn't talk about it. And then we got another one that was no longer said, it was a draft. It actually came with an email that said, please read for ratification. And I asked at that meeting, well, when are we gonna talk about it? Well, we're gonna talk about it. And now I'm hearing, well, we're still finalizing. So I've
Well,
just been a little
take what you've
confused.
gotten there, and my suggestion to you is to take what you've gotten there,
Mm.
and if you have thoughts about it, please pass them on to Bennett and Eric,
Okay,
and let them,
that's fine.
Work with-
I'll do that. I'll just email.
Yeah. and any,
Great.
but
Happy
everybody
to
else.
hear from
Yeah.
anybody, anytime.
You're done.
And that's it. We're done.
Francine has come
Okay.
up with a conundrum.
So, yeah,
Wrap
a
it
little
in.
bit of a conundrum. So when I was working on this thing, the newsletter, I was trying to, I mean, I was just lifting information from the plan and then just making sure it's, well, one of the things I wasn't trying to correct anything, but I did want to update the sale price. Well, actually, the plan called it the value, Madison, the value of a house. But I said, I guess I just want to update the sale price. So when I was trying to Google that and figure it out, and then eventually I wrote to Jane and said, I'm not really sure I'm finding what's correct, and I know she has MLS info. But in my Googling, I came across this document that in all the things I was coming up on my screen, and it was income limits. And I started looking at it, and it's the DOH Development Program income limits based on HUD median incomes 2023, revised 5/15/2023. And it was Connecticut. And I got to the page that said New Haven, Meriden, which I believe and so 100% of AMI, the 111,900, if I was reading this correctly, was actually for a household of 4. And I looked at that and I went, oh my. That's not how we're using that. And then I went back to the plan and they did use the term household income, but at the time that they were writing that was 93,000. But the way I used it in the FAQs was area median income, 111,900,000. But it didn't say for a household of 4, it was just area median income, which in my opinion, implies one person. And so it makes our numbers wrong because according to this, and I wasn't even sure, like, is this accurate? Is this correct? Because the 100% of AMI for one person is 78,330, not 111. So I just really wanted to bring this up because I feel like if that I didn't do the FAQ correctly. Are you following me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you want to just add the family of 4
Well,
in the?
I don't
FAQ?
think that would be,
I don't think that works.
that
I
would.
mean, that's how
think-
they're that's how they come out as the 111. I mean, that's how the state does it, assumed that it is a family of 4.
And I
Yeah,
think
so
there's more
we can
up-to-date
use it in the
numbers, too.
I
FAQ as
thought
AMI.
they come out in May.
Did it just go like 4-1? Like,
It
is
might
that
have
what they
just-
do?
it might have just changed over. There are more up-to-date numbers.
Yeah, but it's not a question of the
But that's
updated
what the
numbers.
updated-
We
the
were
question-
looking at it this morning.
question
so-
is, the way that we have been talking about it, I believe, and thinking about it is, and by the way, when we're talking about teacher salaries on our slideshow and all that sort of thing, were you thinking 111 is one person?
Right,
Yes, so that's where I think it's not accurate. We have to use the number 1. When you're talking about a teacher salary is X, and look, the AMI, they qualify. AMI that we're using is for 4 people, not one person. So I think we have to correct our we have to correct it somehow.
So there's AMI for a household of one, a household
Yes.
of two.
And I
three.
think that we have been thinking that AMI for one is 111,900.
No, I don't think we're thinking that or anything else. We did a household and took it as it was. I don't think we were saying that was for one person.
Well, that's how, what we're presenting
It
sounds
does
like.
get adjusted, and then it gets further adjusted based on if it's an 80% or 60%.
Okay,
Let me
okay.
try it.
I-
Francine, let me just
I
try an
think it
example.
would be better
Let me
to
try
just
an
add
example.
four
If,
people.
if the Wellington is going to have a whole bunch of people coming in and they are going to be deed restricted
Mhm.
according to the rules that we all understood 80% and 30%. If a single person walks in and says, I would like to apply for one of these units, is the criteria $73,000? Then you take 80% of $73,000 and look at 30% of whatever that number is. Is that how it's calculated?
It is
Yes.
adjusted for the
Yes.
number of people. in the
Or how
household.
many people? in the
Yes,
house?
and then
Okay.
the percentage
Yeah.
income.
So if that's the case, you're looking confused.
Wait a second, say that again? It's just,
If you,
Depending on if it's a 50% AMI unit versus an 80% AMI unit. It's a couple of calculations. It's the percentage of the area median, the max, and then it's based on the number of people in your household. So we have to calculate it differently for each unit based on,
I
who's living there?
I understand that, but let me ask it this way. If I come to rent an affordable housing apartment, and I'm an individual, and I make $111,000 on a household of one, that's a household, one person, I make $111,000. Am I qualifying for affordable
No.
housing? Yes.
unless you have dependents where you're a family of four,
No, I'm a household of one.
then no.
Okay,
no.
that's
So
what,
that's-
that's what I'm
That's not
saying.
how
See
the
this
numbers-
question? What is the area median income in Madison? The area median income in Madison is 111,900. That is an incorrect answer. We need to
I see
either
what you're
fix
saying.
our, do you understand what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
do.
We either, we need to fix our question or we need to fix our answer.
Is there anything in between a family of one and a family of four?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so
Two and
How
three.
many, so there are
every,
different
it's
categories.
one,
It's a grid.
2,
It's a whole
3,
grid.
4,
Okay,
1 to 8.
okay, so I think we just use example of family of one is X amount, family of four is 111.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because, but, yeah, so that makes
that's
our
the-
questions and answers wrong, and it makes our slide wrong. We have to decide
Okay.
what we're talking about.
Our Q and A is, FAQs is not wrong. It's
I
not,
will-
it's not
Well-
fully complete.
Well, it's not accurate,
It's
but
not fully
it's
complete.
not clearly, it's not accurate to
So
say it
if
this
we
way.
added,
Yeah.
added the words,
The number came out of the affordable housing. It's been repeated.
Right.
I will confirm the source.
but what we need to
Well,
do
it's
is.
right here.
These are,
At the-
Francine, these are examples. If we go into, one thing I
It's
don't
right
want
on
to
the
do.
HUD page.
I don't want to add a whole matrix here for people to go figure it out. I think if we say that $111,000 is for a household of 4 people.
That's what,
That's
we
what
can
we
say
got.
that.
That's it.
I said either we
Yeah.
have to fix our question
Yeah.
or fix our answer. But it is misleading to say the area median income is 111,000 because that's not accurate.
Agreed, we're not arguing. It's the question is, how do you resolve the problem? As I say, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to try to go into all the variances that you could figure out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and say, calculate this accordingly. It's confusing. If anybody asks the question, keep that matrix there, and you could say, look, yeah, if you really want to know, here it is.
What would be a consensus on how to better, on our FAQs? The question I had put down is what is the area median income? in
Or a
Madison?
family of four.
Or a family of
Or
Do
four.
people want to
Or
use for a family of 4? Is that how
Yeah.
you want to
Let's
phrase
add
that?
that in there.
Rephrase? Okay.
And that is accurate.
Okay.
Pick up.
So, Erin, do I just?
I can email that to her.
Read
Yeah,
it?
I'll just tell her to
And
change.
You know, before you change anything, I'll just make sure, I'll read through this at home and make sure
See if you
it's
have
not
any
making
others.
anything
Is
else.
there any other?
I don't, you know, I didn't pay close attention. I was just looking at
Okay.
that because when I saw that, I was like,
Check with
are you
me.
kidding? You know, so anyway,
If you're
Yeah.
updating it, you might want to update the figures to the new 2024 figures also,
Oh,
because we were looking at it this morning, I think it was 116
Did they post
So
it?
if I, is that posted? So if
Yeah,
I
I
I
Google
thought
this,
they weren't May, I thought it was
I just
May.
printed this
I
out.
need to keep
We were just on the, we were on the HUD website this
That
morning,
says
so
4/23,
We're in the new
so I
numbers,
think
haven't
there
we?
could be 4/24.
they're listed on the HUD website.
Maybe it is
Oh.
April
okay,
that they.
well, that's
released
what
Yeah,
this
I
was,
think it
I
might
think,
be.
but, all right, so I'll look for that then.
And we should change the number too, if it is 116 and not
Yeah.
111.
And it might be
There's also,
116 and change.
That, something that goes along with that, there's also some rent. There's an income sheet and there's a rent sheet as well, that kind of lists rent and that, just to further confuse you.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
Well, it's
Yeah.
very handy. I mean, it tells you everything. You don't even have to get your calculator out, 20%, 30%,
All right.
Okay. Does the public want to speak?
So just a suggestion on the outreach you have upcoming, it would be wonderful to have perspectives that were maybe different than what were represented last time, and maybe an outreach to other demographics would be interesting to get their input. And then also I noticed our architect was here the 2 times ago, but it would be maybe interesting to get industry people to attend one of these workshops, to architects and so on, to see what they might have. Mentioned Duo Dickinson before, he does this work in other areas. Darren always says, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel. It might be fun to invite some of these people to these workshops and see what they have to say, especially those that are local and invested in the community.
Thank you.
If you're not already on it, and I don't know how to do it, but that's the suggestion.
Do we, Aaron, is there an easy way to find out the heads of the various sizable businesses in town? Because it might be worth having an invitation directly from the committee to bring some of those folks in to talk about, like, do they have trouble hiring people, or is it, how, what happens when there's a snowstorm and you
That
have
was
to-
one of the comments that David Fink had said at our working group, was that he wants to come in and have a meeting with the chamber. So
Yeah.
maybe there's one of your meetings focuses directly on business, or arrange to have a community conversation at one of their regular business member meetings.
I think that something
And-
makes
and
sense, yeah.
use that as an opportunity for a monthly community meeting. And then, just general developers or, folks who are in the business here, to kind of hear from them. I believe you had Jerry Davis, or was that the original group?
That was the
Oh, yeah.
original
The
group.
original group
Yeah,
had
yeah.
Jerry. But there's a bunch of, a bunch of builders or folks who own properties who may, you can hear from them directly. What's holding them back? What's
Yeah.
encouraging them? Folks who have done it, Mike Carb, Gentile, those are folks who have built affordable housing.
I think Steve
Developments
Fowler,
in town.
Let's try to,
That
we'll
can
we'll
help
set
as
that up
well.
in the future. That's good. Thank you very much. That's good.
I had a really good meeting picking up on that. So in Guilford, Green Planet Company, Chris Widmer is an architect by trade, and he is principal of this nonprofit, and did an affordable housing development cottage community. Green construction off of State Street in Guilford, and I worked with him when I worked for Guilford in the very preliminary permitting process and into groundbreaking. It was, an old historic home, 15 acres total, came up with this concept to do a subdivision and then this cluster housing. He reached out to me recently and asked if I wanted to come visit now that he's built the community, and they're just about getting their COs. So I met with him yesterday and toured the property. It's not occupied yet. It's going to be owner occupied, but he went through a whole, and as a nonprofit, went through a whole different funding source, and really has an opportunity to do additional projects of smaller scale. He's working with Guilford on some other, the town has another town-owned property that they're looking to potentially do as affordable housing. And I thought his perspective, just in hearing his process, how he's doing the administration of these units, how he received his funding, and what opportunities he has available in the future, I thought would be beneficial for the group. He has a PowerPoint presentation and loves, he's very passionate about this and really would love to do a project in Madison. And I thought I would mention it to you. I thought you may be open to having him come visit one of the meetings
I
and
think we'd be
kind of
very
share
open.
his
Yeah.
perspective and what he's been doing. He's definitely had struggles through the process, but the funding source, he could give you real numbers and it's all septic, it's well. They had to do a bridge crossing for inland wetlands to access the site. It was pretty in-depth. But I thought that might be good, and it's another
Yeah,
person to
absolutely. I
have
think that would be maybe even
as
for
a
the
resource here.
May
Is that the-
3 meeting.
What's the latest project? Is that maybe the one Christie?
Great Hill Commons
Yeah.
is what he has.
I don't think so.
No, she was talking about upcoming.
There's
This
another
one's
one with a
done.
major wetland issue.
Issues, yeah. No, this one's already done.
Where's that?
in Guilford.
He said, no, she didn't even give us a name, but she just mentioned that there was one that was being
It's
considered,
pending for 10 years.
but it was
And it's not got a
in the,
wetland
is it a 10-year flood zone? I mean, is that, I can't remember which one of the.
500.
Oh, that's the
500
Woodruff
year flood
property.
zone,
Yeah, that's because they didn't fill the property and get a Lomar outside of the flood zone. And so that's one of the challenges and why I spoke to that if you're building housing that's funded by the state, if you are in a flood zone, you have to design to the 500-year flood zone. And if in some instances, there's an opportunity to go through the regulatory process to remove properties from the flood zone with fill. And that's been advised for several years on that property.
$50,000.
It's, that project is
Till it washes away.
a sad, it is in the same state as the day I walked through the doors in 2018. It's a shame.
Is the Great Hill Commons all affordable?
Yes,
How many units do they have?
8 total. 6 cottages, 2 standalone houses. He still has funding for 2 more houses and they don't have to be on that site or in that community. And it appears that he's going to be receiving funding for 10
Yeah.
more.
Was he thinking
units.
about Wall Street? Yeah.
He's interesting.
Yeah.
But, I asked him, I thought about that specifically, if it could be retrofitting or renovating existing, because I also thought of the cops property.
Mhm.
The historic
Right.
building, something like that. He said the state does prefer new construction with the funding, but there is flexibility. But he talked about, the land value for each cottage. It ultimately costs him about $70,000 in land cost per unit. Ideally, he'd love to get to 50 to really be,
Yeah. Well, this would let the zero land cost, and maybe there could be financing for
Right.
rehab, not just the reconstruction. It's,
But I think you would really enjoy talking to him. He's a great
anybody,
person.
are they
and
suggesting May 5th, May 3rd meeting, excuse me?
Yeah.
I think it's PATH, the funding source that he's using. It's not anything that I was familiar with, to be honest.
But would you?
Not your typical, tax credit
Would you invite
process.
him to?
Sure.
Would you ask him to come on
The
our
state has a
May 3rd?
May
affordable
1st.
housing trust.
First.
that they-
Is that through the PATH? I have to Google that program.
And it's open to nonprofits.
But it's specifically home ownership,
Uh,
not the rentals.
Okay.
So you're building for ownership units. So that would not necessarily work unless there was some sort of condo association, long-term lease with the library.
You don't have to actually own the property, so you have to be an owner. You have to be If you own a condominium, you have to be an owner. Something.
You would own your unit and then have common, and then the common would be the long-term lessee of the property, I would think.
Any other comments? Anybody have any other questions? Anybody want to bring up any other issues? I think we can-
One more. So
Yeah.
then actually, it sounds like I don't need to do an agenda for the next meeting. It's gonna be canceled, is that
It's
correct?
canceled, so.
So there's no agenda.
Yeah, and Aaron said we don't need an agenda for the Zoom meeting.
Okay.
When you have the flyer, Aaron, could you send it to us so that we can also mail it out to our contacts?
Okay, then call this meeting adjourned at 5:12.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon, you all.
It is.
You know the
Well,
name of
she
the
sends it.
guy who spoke at our coffee hour.